Hello, it is 11 a.m. in London. It's 2:30 p.m. in Kabul. I'm Monita, Rajpal.
And I'm Zain Verji. You're watching World One.
It's a scandal that shocked a nation, brought down a newspaper and sent a shudder through the British government. So why did the police spend years looking the other way? That's the question lawmakers will ask as senior police chiefs face a public grilling on the phone hacking scandal engulfing Rupert Murdoch's empire. John Yates, Assistant Commissioner of London's police force, is in the firing line over his decision not to reopen the hacking investigation 2 years ago. MPs also want to know why police failed to examine evidence that victims of crime and their families were targeted by journalists at the News of the World. Now lashed out at the Murdoch empire during an interview with the BBC. He accused one of Murdoch's newspapers of having criminal connections.
I think what happened pretty early on in government is that the Sunday Times appear to have got access to my Building Society account. They got access to my legal files. There's some question mark about what happened to other files, documentation, tax and everything else.
London police chiefs will go before Parliament just a short time from now. CNN's Dan Rivers reports from outside Britain's Houses of Parliament.
It's another critical day in this phone hacking story. This morning, 3 policemen at the centre of this story will be called and cross-examined by a committee of MPs. Prime Minister
David Cameron has promised 2 public inquiries into the issue raised by the scandal. He says News Corp should deal with the problems inside the company before worrying about the takeover of B-Sky-B.
If I was running this company right now, B-Sky-B and News Corporation, I would be focused on clearing up the mess that there is in News International with all the problems that are still coming out, and I suspect there's many more problems to come out. Deal with that before you move on to working out which merger and which takeover and how many shares and all the rest of it.
Well, B-Sky-B shareholders are following the phone hacking saga with great interest. The company's shares are down by about 2% this session on the London Stock Exchange. In the past week, they've sunk by 17%. Well, earlier, shares of News Corp fell in Sydney, dropping 4.6% by the close on Tuesday. It is the largest company in Rupert Murdoch's media empire. Its stock is also traded in New York, where it fell heavily overnight. The company's value, as measured by its shares, has fallen more than $6.5 billion in just over a week. Well, critics of News Corp's plans to take over B-Sky-B say it would hand Rupert Murdoch with too much power over the British media. We want to bring in Louise Cooper, a market analyst at BGC Partners. She joins us now live from central London. Louise, thank you very much for being with us. Now that Mr. Murdoch has decided he's going to take the Sky News channel off the concession table as it goes to the Competition Commission right now, is it a sense that he's now in the driver's seat and he is taking control of the situation?
Very much so. I mean, essentially what happened late yesterday evening is you saw Murdoch revoke his original agreement and say, no, actually, I'm not going to hive off Sky News if I buy B-Sky-B.
Well, let's see what newspapers here in Britain are saying about all of this. The Daily Mail has the headline, Yard at War with Murdoch over leaks, Yard being Scotland Yard. It says senior officers are disgusted by a series of leaks from within the company, revealing confidential details of the Metropolitan Police's inquiry. The final straw came yesterday when the Queen and the royal family were drawn into the scandal engulfing the Murdoch machine. In the Independence newspaper, the newspaper says Brown gives Murdoch empire a taste of its own medicine. It goes on to say, referring to the Sun newspaper's attacks on Gordon Brown when he was Prime Minister, the paper says the timing of yesterday's disclosures will doubtless be seen as by News International as an attempt by Mr. Brown to exact revenge by kicking a man while he's down. Just like the Sun's dramatic announcement at the Labour conference, his timing was impeccable. And finally, an opinion piece in The Guardian under the headline, "This media is corrupt. We need a Hippocratic oath for journalists." The articles say, as the pursuit of Gordon Brown by the Sunday Times and the Sun blows the hacking scandal into new corners of the old man's empire, this story begins to feel like the crumbling of the Berlin Wall. All right. Zain, the founder of the whistleblowing website WikiLeaks, is in London's High Court right now. Julian Assange is appealing against an order to extradite him to Sweden. Prosecutors there want to question him over allegations by 2 women that he sexually assaulted them. He says the accusations are false and are politically motivated. CNN's Atika Schubert joins us now from outside the High Court with more on that. Atika.
Well, the hearing is ongoing inside, and this time Julian Assange actually has a new legal team that seems to have taken a somewhat more conciliatory approach. Right off the bat, his lawyer, Ben Emerson, was saying that as he discusses and analyzes the allegations against Julian Assange...
That's just being asked as though if Julian Assange is even asking that, if he is indeed not guilty of these crimes that he's being accused of, why not go to Sweden and fight it out there?
Well, this is the big question. Of course, when these allegations first came up, he did actually go to the police. He was questioned at one point, and he actually even requested whether or not he could leave the country.
Rajpal is one of the most stressed out, hardworking women here, though, in CNN, though, aren't you, Monita?
It's true. It's true. Gosh darn it.
All those speaking engagements.
Yeah, the millions and millions are doing that. All right, Zane, thank you very much.
Rupees.
Yeah, let's talk to another very hardworking person, our meteorologist, Jennifer Delgado, and you're talking a lot about dangerous heat wave that continues across the United States.
Yeah, don't you love how Zane just put you on the spot there? One of the most stressed out women. No, not my sweet Monita. There's no such thing. All right, let's talk about the weather. Yeah, you're right, Monita. It's going to be very hot out there today.
You're so cute.
Usually you guys aren't in silence, so that just disturbed me for a moment.
Not.
Neither am I.
No, Jen, we're loving it. Thank you very much for bringing that
Bye,
to us, to our attention.
You're watching World 1 live from London. Feeling the heat in the British phone hacking scandal, attention is turning on the police now.
Intelligence officials in Pakistan say 8 suspected militants have been killed in what's believed to be a strike by a U.S. drone. They say 4 missiles hit a hideout in the region of South Waziristan. That's a volatile tribal area bordering Afghanistan. A doctor suspected of helping the CIA track down Osama bin Laden has been arrested. That's according to a senior Pakistani security official. Britain's Guardian newspaper says the doctor helped the agency collect DNA samples from people who lived in bin Laden's house before the al-Qaeda leader was shot and killed back in May. We want to bring you more now with CNN's Reza Saya, who joins us now on the phone from the capital, Islamabad. Reza.
Monita, a Pakistani intelligence official tells us this Pakistani doctor is in custody. Not clear if he's going to be charged with a crime.
What's going on in the world of sport today? Don Riddell's here to share it all with us.
Hi, Monita. Thanks very much. Hosting a major football tournament is supposed to be fun, but it's been a rather anxious few days for Argentina.
So you went and interviewed them. Just looking here on Wikipedia about Vitaly Klitschko, it says he's known for his powerful punches and exceptional chin.
Right.
Was it a bit intimidating to meet these guys? Can you look at these pictures of these and the images of these men?
I wasn't trying to punch them, and thankfully they were in a good mood and they weren't trying to hit me. These guys are great. I mean, it is incredible what they've achieved. Between them, they have completely dominated heavyweight boxing for the last 7 or 8 years.
I'm not surprised.
Doesn't go, doesn't watch, and so the guy that's not fighting, he has to phone the mum afterwards.
I'm not surprised. Who would want to see their little boy? Okay, maybe not so little, but you know what I mean.
6'6" or 6'7".
Getting a few punches.
Anyway, it's a good interview. Catch it on World Sport later.
We look forward to that. Don, thank you very much.
All right.
You're watching World 1 live from London.
It's just a few days since we got the world's newest nation. Now, how about America's newest state?
Barbecue, baked beans, as well as southwestern corn. Monita, you going to show up for that?
Yeah, I'll be there. Yeah.
All right, then. It's just me, looks like it.
Now, this week, we are previewing a Going Green special event here on CNN. It starts on Saturday when you can follow environmentalist and CNN special correspondent Philippe Cousteau to the Arctic Circle. Scientists regard it as ground zero for climate change research, and it's where you'll find adventurous scientists coming and going.
Big World 1 live from London. I'm Zane Verjee.
I'm Monita Rajpal. Thank you for joining us. We have an update on the news headlines at the top of the hour. You're watching CNN.